Okay, so I did a video on the remakes that I didn't love or didn't really care for. And now I'll do one on the ones that I did kind of appreciate or, kind of like even, or at least didn't hate. The Thing, John Carpenter's 1982 remake of The Thing from Another World, which was made in 1951, obviously pretty old. Um, and John Carpenter's version took a lot of the same concepts, and he made a movie that was completely his own. The movie was really, really well done, and it's kind of about the lack of trust in American society. It was terrific social commentary and scary and interesting, and not a single dull moment in the whole movie, and I really loved it. The graphics were really amazing, considering the time it was made, and I loved it a lot. I also just love John Carpenter, but that's another story. Psycho. Now, a lot of people complain about this movie. I agree that it didn't really need to be made, and it was made shot for shot in color, just a little bit updated, just more 20th century values. It's the original is really a classic. Alfred Hitchcock is really, really, really good, and he kind of started the modern day horror trend in many ways, with the taking away from spectacle and stuff like that, and just bringing it down into this little guy, Norman Bates. Hitchcock was pretty much a genius, and there's no denying it. Gus Van Sant did the remake, and he's an excellent director. I'm not saying I loved the remake. It had the same cheesiness of the original, but it didn't really have an excuse because it was made in an era where cheesiness is harder to come by, I guess. It just didn't seem to have an excuse to be cheesy, but the casting was pretty great, even though Vince Vaughn as Norman Bates was weird. It wasn't bad at all. The acting was pretty good, and it did manage to bring a couple new things into the movie, but not enough to say I really liked it necessarily. But I don't think I could ever hate a Gus Van Sant movie. Now, Rob Zombie's remake of John Carpenter's Halloween got a lot of crap. But in 2007 is when it was made, and it surprised me. It managed to capture some of what the original had, and it added some spice into it. Zombie directed himself, and I didn't really have high hopes for it, but some of the scenes looked like they were cut out of a weird music video, but it kind of worked, honestly. Zombie got a lot of criticism for his work and all about, all for money and stuff like that, but I honestly can say I enjoyed myself. When I think remakes, I think, why did they make them? And the answer is usually, like I said, money. But they often revisit the past of our favorite killers, and honestly, I don't think it really matters why people are evil. But it's kind of interesting, I guess. One thing I didn't like was the cussing in that, like hearing the fuck, excuse my language, the F word, every other word, and just like pussy, and it was just really stupid, and it got really old. It was distracting, and I think it took a lot away from the film. I don't think it had to happen. But otherwise, I enjoyed the movie. Acting wasn't terrible. The script wasn't terrible. Malcolm McDowell was in it, and hey, he's horror movie classic right there. Yeah, let's not talk about H2, the sequel. That was some mess. Prom Night in 2008, one of the only movies that were remade that I didn't love the original. The Scream Queen, Jamie Lee Curtis, love her, all that. I guess the whole movie never really clicked for me. I guess I didn't really get it. But the remake, on the other hand, kind of caught me off guard. It was pretty great. The story was scary and twisted and pretty believable. Brittany Snow is, Brittany Snow. She's no Scream Queen. She's cute and she gets the job done. But I think the remake was not given all the credit. But here's what I have to say about that. It's not the same movie as Prom Night, the original. It's a whole different story. So what I don't understand is, why didn't they just market it under another title? It seemed to me like they were playing it and marketing it off the original to try and get a bigger audience base, and that kind of annoyed me. I mean, it was a whole different movie, basically. It was not a lot like the original at all. But it's almost more of a thriller. The kills got some pretty gory kills, and it was cool, but it was more of a thriller, and it kept my interest. Um, I really enjoyed it, and better than the original. Now, there are remakes coming out this year, or that have come out that I haven't seen. The Thing, which is a remake to a remake, which seems a little over the top and makes me feel like we have no like stuff left in the American horror genre. But I heard it's a prequel, and I heard it's pretty good. So if you want to check that out, you should. I haven't brought myself to do it yet, but I probably will. I feel like we're kind of running out of ideas. I still also have not seen the remake of Fright Night that was just released. I probably will hate it just because I adored the original and like Lost Boys and stuff like that. I mean, obviously I love those, but I guess we'll see. Like I said, I can't judge till I've seen them. But all right, so that's all. Thanks again, guys.